Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are talking about Tamron 35-150mm 2 to 2.8, and it's an exciting lens. However, there is a lot of reviews on the internet, so I won't be going through some obvious thing here, but I just want to help you to make a decision if you should pick up Tamron 35-150 or its competitor Samyang. I tested this Tamron specifically on Nikon system because I could, and I enjoy changing systems sometimes, and honestly I had a blast working with Nikon, and I really do appreciate, though I use Sony like in my daily work, but I really do appreciate that body, like paired with you know, CF Express Type B. It's like you feel indestructible, you know, invincible. Sorry for my English, you know. So let's move to some basics. So out of the box you get a beautiful looking and beautifully made lens. It's made of plastic, it has a lot of custom buttons, but everything is tight, works perfectly fine, and you can see that it's a high quality lens. So when it comes to customization, you have a nice feature here, which is USB-C port, and you can update the firmware through this USB-C port. And what's more important, you can use a Tamron lens utility, and thanks to that you have an option to customize every button and its functions. To give you an example, you can, for example, use this button to change focus between point A and point B, which is very valuable in video work. So basically, when it comes to customizability, Tamron to me is a win over Samyang, though Samyang is not bad at all in that case, but thanks to this app and thanks to this port, this is like really much better solution than Samyang's lens docking station that you have to pay extra for. However, it's still cheaper even with the lens docking station, but that's the other subject. Okay, let's talk about you know, new setup, new microphone, new setup, I gotta adjust. Now let's switch to very important features like optical quality, which is a good news here, because Tamron is very sharp from 35 to 150. 150 you can see some blurriness in the corners. Central parts stop to like wide open are pretty sharp and pretty contrasty. It's a very good image quality. At 35 you can see that in the middle of the image, in the center of the image, you have very good sharpness, very good contrast, and a little drop of contrast, specifically not that much of a sharpness in the corners. However, having said that, on such a universal full frame bright lens, this is spectacular to me. When it comes to image distortion, you can see a little barrel effect on 35, but almost none, and of course quite strong pincushion on 150, which is not a big deal because it can have a fluttering look on portraits that you would normally look for at 150mm, and you know, this beautiful blurry background. So basically, if you want to get rid of it, just turn on the image correction profile and you're good to go. Anyways, like, this is spectacular, honestly. Like, everything so far discussed for such a universal tool is phenomenal. But let's talk about chromatic aberration, work against the light, stars, and other features before we get to comparison. So when it comes to stars at f11, stars are beautiful, are clean. So this is a good lens, definitely, if you like to add some flair, add some stars to your image, and specifically if you want to work in the night, because there's a low chroma. The chroma levels are very low here on this lens. The work against the light is the only sin of this lens, because you can see a lot of flaring and you can almost see like the optical construction of the lens there. So this is like actually very interesting to watch. But both on 35 and 150, flaring is pretty apparent, so take this into consideration. Use lens hood if you can, and definitely if this is something you want to avoid, you have to know about that. Okay, now let's talk about chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberration is pretty well controlled at 2.0 or 2.8 at 150. You can see a little bit of orange chromatic aberration on the upper part of the text, but stop down a little bit, specific to f.4, all the problems disappear. And this is a rule for all the you know, like focal length, both 35, 150, 85, whatever you focal length you use. At f4, all the problems, optical problems, pretty much disappear and image becomes razor sharp from center to corner. So basically, having said all that, I think this is a brilliant lens, and paired with Nikon, like my Polish pronunciation, paired with Nikon Z6 II, it is a really universal and beautiful tool to use. And actually, as far as I am a like huge fan of prime lenses, this lens can be a beautiful lens to travel with, to take some amazing images. And I took it to like a monster truck show to show you some monster trucks and how beautifully you can capture some close-ups with this lens. So definitely something to have fun with and something to explore the world with, because you can also see some pictures of beautiful Portugal that I live in on some photos. And it's a pleasure to work with this lens. However, the question still remains, which lens should I buy? Because Tamron is more expensive than Samyang. And if you're a Nikon user, you don't have a choice. You just basically have to be happy about Tamron, because there's no Samyang on Nikon Z as far as I know. And that's your only choice. So basically you just close your eyes, you just like use your credit card and just buy it, because it's such a good lens. But if you're on Sony, then you have a choice, and like usually Sony users have, you have a choice between Samyang and Tamron. So to me, the most important two features that can or three features that can help you to take this to make decision are: Tamron is generally slightly lighter, which works in favor of it. Second thing, this USB-C port and those amazing customization options may also want you to reach out and buy Tamron. However, there's one thing that Samyang is better with, because like I didn't say much about Samyang today. It's also a brilliant lens, and optically they are amazingly and like surprisingly similar, and both sharp, both perform very well. So both lenses are a very good purchase. However, Samyang is transfocal and Tamron is not. So what it means? It means that if you zoom in from 35 to 150 millimeters, the sharpness on the Samyang remains. So if you focus on one point and then you zoom in, this one point still be sharp. And this is not the case in Tamron, because you have to readjust the focus. So if this kind of zooming video work is your thing, then you will probably want to look at Samyang. That is also like priced low, that it comes with a lower price tag. So basically, there you are, guys. This is my look at Tamron 35 to 150 and how it works against Samyang and its competitor 35 150 millimeters. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please leave thumbs up, subscribe. It helps my channel a lot, and I see you guys in the next one.